Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the shop. Well, if you haven't noticed by now, I've been kind of in a storage kind of role. I've made the clamp cabinet, assembly table, table saw, and now I'm really sick and tired of this shop being not very conducive to an efficient work environment. So what I'm going to do is take care of this wall. I've got a metal cabinet that I'm going to purchase at a big box store that will go right over here on one side of this fuse panel that's behind my dust collector. The dust collector is going to stay put. However, these metal cabinets I'm not really fond of, so they are going to go away. And what I plan on doing is replacing them with this. Now this setup is going to give me tons of storage. The upper cabinets are going to be 47 inches tall by 31 inches wide, and there are going to be 4 of them. The lower cabinets are also going to be 31 inches wide at 36 inches tall. There are going to be 5 sets of drawers, 2 of which are 5 inches tall, the other 2 are 10 inches tall, and the one down below in blue that you see is 4 inches tall, and it will serve as the kick plate with added storage behind it. The far right hand side will give me desk space with shelving underneath that I can put my woodworking magazines that I have acquired over the years. It will also house my laptop that will run my CNC machine in the drawer. So not only will this help my resale value of this house when I'm done with it, the cabinets are going to stay put. Everything else is probably going to go with. So this will be a huge selling point when people want to look at this house and buy it. But in the meantime, it will serve my purposes a great deal. So I've got 6 sheets of plywood to get started, so I'm going to get to cutting. Now these 11¼ inch cuts are for the upper cabinets. And these 23-inch wide cuts are for the bases. Now we're laying out the area for the toe kick, which is 4 inches up and 3 inches from this edge. Now in order to make these cuts fairly straight, we're going to cut them on the table saw. Now when you run your wood through the table saw blade, you have to be careful that you're not just looking at the top on the wood surface, you also have to accommodate the blade underneath the surface. So in order to make that as straight and as perpendicular as possible to the table, it's always wise to raise your blade up as high as it will go to decrease the angulation of the blade. Right here at this surface, it's more perpendicular to the table than if it was at this surface. Now to make sure that I don't exceed the line that I've got on my wood, I'm going to draw a line on my fence. And I'm going to find where the blade actually passes at the surface of the table, and then back it up just a little bit to where the blade does not touch. And then I'm going to make a mark right on my fence. And now just taking a good straight edge, I'm going to extend that line up the side of my fence. And here's another look at it with the offcut piece. You can see where the table saw was meeting at. I've just got the table saw set up 4 inches away from the blade to cut the mounting brackets that are going to go up underneath the countertop. Now I'm not worried about the grain direction here because you're never going to see it. This piece was in my scrap bin, so I'm going to make use of it. Here I'm cutting up to make the shelves for the lower units, which will give the lower cabinet some stability. Now all I'm doing here with all of these pieces cut is I'm laying out the tongue and grooves that are going to be in all of these. I'm going to assemble this with a lot of offset tongue and groove joinery, much like I did my clamp wall cabinet. So mark everything first, and that way all you got to do is glance at them and cut them. Alright, I got the 2 outer blades of the dado stack in here, which makes 1/4 inch wide. I've also raised the blade up 1/4 inch high, and we're going to cut the grooves in pretty much all the pieces. Okay, now that all the grooves are cut in every piece that I've got, now it's time to cut the tongues. So I'm going to install a chipper blade between the two outer blades and use my sacrificial fence to sneak up on the measurement that will allow me to get these tongues just right. Now, because the tongues are a 1/4 inch thick, I've got to take a 1/2 inch chunk out of the plywood to make that tongue. Now, generally, plywood is not 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to undercut this from a 1/2 inch and then sneak up on the measurement. Now that I've got all the tongues made, it's time to make the dados. I've taken the dado stack and I've already set it up and done a test fit. So I'm ready to batch cut all those now. Oh, well guys, that pretty much wraps up this episode. Now I've still got to cut the backs and then make the offset tongues for those. The upper cabinets are going to have 3/4 inch backs from top to bottom, so there's plenty of surface area for mounting screws. And then I hope to get some carcasses assembled and possibly get this cleaned out. And then I will continue on with future episodes. Like I said, this may be a 4-part thing, so I know this is a little overkill for making cabinetry for a shop, but these cabinets right here will probably stay with the property if we ever leave it. So I want to make sure that these things are built well and won't have a need to come off the wall. So that's pretty much it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me some comments below on how you guys would maybe do anything better or less. I know you'll probably say too many joints, but whatever. Thanks guys for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Remember, be safe in your shops. Talk to you next time. Boom!